Hello everyone, it's Carol here at Oak House Journals. Lovely to have you with me. I'm going to do week 3 of Lisbeth Degn's Stitched Circle Show Challenge. This is a Dogma challenge. All the details are in the description box below the video. Here I'm showing you all the bits and bobs that I've lifted out for today's project. The Dogma rules for week 3 are as follows: to use light felt or fabric. So I've got a piece of vintage French bed linen fabric there on my desk. The second prompt is to cover the surface with used tea bags. So here I'm just positioning some tea bags that have dried out on the radiator here at home for a couple of days. So I'm just ripping off the serrated edges, and where they're double, singling them out or making them into single sheets of tea bag paper. So as I say, I'm just arranging them here on my piece of fabric. The third Dogma rule for this week is the stitch, and the stitch we're to use is blanket stitch. The fourth rule is that we only do one circle. Now the theme of the whole challenge is circles. So there will be a circle on every piece that we do over the next 52 weeks. However, sometimes we can do one, sometimes we can do more. This week it's a single circle, so just the one. And the fifth rule and the final rule is we have a free choice of thread colour, and there's no specification as to how many thread colours we can use. Sorry about that. How many thread colours we can use. We can use as many as we want, and we have free rein as to what colours we choose. So here I'm just using my Pritt stick, and I'm going over my fabric and also over my tea bags with some glue and gluing them down onto my fabric. A little bit messy because glue kept on sticking everywhere, and the tea bags were lifting, but yeah, they go down remarkably well actually. And it's a couple of weeks now since I actually did this particular piece, and they've all dried really well and remained in place on my piece of fabric just with normal Pritt stick. So yeah, quite impressed with how these have managed to adhere to my fabric. So just playing around with my pieces, not bothering if I'm overlapping them or not, and just having fun, enjoying how it's looking. It reminded me very much of tree bark. So when I go in with my blanket stitch, you'll see what I try to create. So now that it's dry, I popped it onto the radiator overnight to thoroughly dry. This is the following morning. I've got a Fricks and marker pen here and a small pot of jam, and I'm just using the lid of the jam jar to go all the way around my Fricks and marker pen. Now I was using a very fine pointed Fricks and marker pen here, so I found that in some places it hadn't marked my tea bag, so I went over it. I'm using a ruler here to mark out the center, and then I actually put in some guidelines so that I can get my stitches to look nice and regular. Not too bothered how close they are together, and you'll see what I mean in a minute, but I did want the angle to be right, so I wanted it to be pretty carefully marked out. So here I've got, I think I used 2 strands of just black DMC thread, and I'm doing my blanket stitch. So I'm stitching through the tea bag or tea bags that I've glued down and through the fabric. It actually gave quite a nice surface to stitch on actually. So as you can see, I've moved slightly around my circle, just adjusting my stitches as I go, getting to the end of this piece of thread. So I'll finish it off. Yep. Can I get one more stitch out of it? Yes, I can. So just trying to get one more stitch out of it, then I finish off this thread and go in with another thread. So this is my new piece of thread, and I'm just picking up where I left off. Just really enjoying stitching away here. I like doing blanket stitch, nice easy stitch to do. Just making sure that I'm keeping my stitches at the right angle more than anything. Not bothered about how regular or how close they are, as I've mentioned before, but I do want to make sure that the angle is right from the outside of the circle through to the centre. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit for you so that you can see this grow a little bit more quickly. So just putting in the final stitches and then threading my thread through to the reverse, doing a couple of little tiny knots to secure it in place. As I've mentioned in the previous videos, where I can I want to put a little tiny pop of red on each of my pieces. So here I'm just adding some red by making a little star in the centre of what I hope looks like a slice of a tree, perhaps. I thought the tea bags looked a bit like tree bark, and I wanted the blanket stitch to look like it was a slice through a tree trunk. So there we go, everybody. Thank you so much as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing this one come together, and a few pictures at the end for you to have a closer look. Until the next video, everybody, take care. Bye bye now.